Good morning, good people. Single on Lang. Fish.
Single on Lang.
Fish. Normally we yell single on fish because the show usually starts with Rob Fisher sitting right here.
Does it today?
Not today. It's the holidays and Rob Fisher left us.
Well,
He's out of town. Rob's with the team. Rob's in Houston with the Grizzlies.
He's in Astro World.
But I'm Lang Whitaker and I'm here. And the other guys are here too. John Roser's next to me.
Yeah, I'm here.
With his hat on.
Damn right.
CJ's in the booth with his shirt on, turtle shirt. And Rob Fisher's in a hotel room in Houston, Texas.
Yes, it is lovely here in Houston. It's a little chilly. It's like it is in Memphis. Chilly, but at least here the sun is out.
Yeah, no, the sun's out here, sort of.
Oh, well, good.
Sort of.
Yeah, which is nice because it was not yesterday.
It rained the other 2 days ago. It was awful.
It was horrible.
Gross weather.
Yeah.
Monday and Tuesday were,
But
they were mid.
tomorrow is Thanksgiving, and we will have plenty to give thanks for. And let's start by giving thanks for our picks last week. Because, guys, there's a lot of green on the sheet.
Give yourself a round of
There's a
applause,
lot
guys.
of green. The
Syndicate.
Syndicate turned in a 17-3 week last week.
It was just a matter of time.
Take a look at that.
We were due.
The due theory pays off, as I have predicted previously.
I also think we've all kind of found our niche.
I stayed away from the NFL.
I
Finally.
stayed away from the NFL, stayed away from the Tigers, stayed away from the SEC for the most part.
Yeah.
Like that Rob did almost strictly Rob did well in college also. Like where it's getting to the point of the season where you know what you are as a gambler, you know what you have your hands on and have a good grasp of as a gambler. So just bet on the things you know, man.
I know. I've realized I've been solid with the teasers this year in the NFL. I've been solid with those 7-point teasers.
You've always been a tease.
Yeah. Yes, I have. I have been solid with the quarterbacks throwing interceptions. Mid or bad quarterbacks in the NFL picking their over interception props. I'm like, I saw this bad quarterback has to do is throw one pick and I win the bet. Okay, well that's probably happening because he's a bad quarterback. And then the Memphis over has been one.
It's been a good one.
And then I've rolled with it a couple times and it has helped me. We all had Georgia kicking the crap out of Tennessee. And sure enough, Lang, I got to give you credit for this one, man, because you told us last week, you said
first score.
Tennessee's going to come out. They're going to score on their first possession because teams do that against Georgia. They're also, it's in Neyland. They're going to be fired up. They're probably going to have something planned. It took them, 3 plays? One play.
First play of the game.
First play. There's the touchdown you said. And after that, Georgia will completely lock them down, and the game will be over. And sure enough,
first play of the game, Tennessee had a 75-yard touchdown run, and then Georgia scored 36 in a row or something like that.
Was it 38-10?
38-10 or 14-10, I think. Yeah. But Georgia put the smack down on them, which was nice to see. What did we learn this week? Anybody learn anything? Rob, did you learn anything?
Yeah, I got something. Cam Rising. Remember we talked about him a lot before
former
the season?
Utah quarterback.
Yeah, and every week we talked about him maybe coming back. Well, he never came back.
Yeah.
But he is coming back next season for his 7th season.
Nice.
He began his career in 2018 at Texas when Tom Herman was in his 2nd year. Holy crap.
How old is he?
Cam Rising or Tom Herman?
35.
Cam Rising.
CJ says 35.
He's got to be like 25 by now.
At least.
If he's coming back for his 7th season, he's got to be 25.
He'll be 25 next year.
Well, you remember everybody was all mad that Stetson Bennett was like 24 or 25? Yeah. My son actually asked me the other day, he said, was Stetson Bennett the oldest college football player? I was like, no, there used to be these quarterbacks at Florida State who were in their 30s.
Yeah, Chris Winkie.
Yeah. And my son was like, how did that happen? And I was trying to explain. It's so hard to explain now, like how there used to be guys who played one sport and then could play a different sport and still be eligible to play. And I was just like, there used to be old guys who play. But there's a kicker now. There's some kicker, I think at Virginia, who's in his 30s, who has like two kids and like is married.
Yeah, he was in the military, so he's able to come back and play college football.
I learned this week. Have you ever played Retro Bowl on your phone?
Well, I would say we can't be upset about Cam Rising.
No, I'm not upset.
No, I mean
it's just something we learned.
DeAndre Williams was 27 years old playing for the Tigers last year.
He tried to play this year too.
Right, he tried to play this year. So
Cam Rising also, like, we thought he was coming back, and then a couple of weeks ago, it turned out like his knee injury was way worse than anyone thought, and he hadn't just told anybody that, and so finally we found out. Have you guys ever played Retro Bowl on your phone?
I don't know what that is. No.
So it's almost like Tecmo Bowl, but it's a little phone game you can play.
And it's retro.
They just call it Retro Bowl, but it's real simple. You play, like, there's like, you don't even call plays. They just give you a play, and you can either pass or run, and they have the NFL version, and they came out with the college version. And all my son's friends play it, and so they told me about it. So I was playing the college one. I was like, all right, you get to coach a team, basically. So I signed up for it, and they assigned me Coastal Carolina starting out as my team. And I thought, all right, I'm going to become like one of the great college coaches ever, but I got to have to work my way up to get a better job. So I got Coastal into the college football playoff my first season and lost to Ohio State. And I thought, all right, here the job offers are going to come rolling in. And I got a bunch of job offers from like mid-majors. And I thought, well, I think I'd rather go to a big conference. So I looked in the SEC. I had 2 offers, Mississippi State and Vanderbilt.
Oh.
So I thought, you know what? I'm going to be the one to turn Vanderbilt around.
No.
And I thought I only need to do it for like 2 years, right? Or a year, because then someone's going to come scoop you up at a big place. So I took the Vanderbilt job, and I lost my opener to Appalachian State.
So have they fired you yet?
No.
They haven't fired you yet?
It might happen, though. But, like, I don't know, man. I think Vanderbilt's just snake bit for it.
Was it a close loss to Appalachian State?
Like 10, something like that.
Yeah, you're not going to get fired for that, man. He's like, well, maybe there's progress there.
Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, that was what I learned this week. Anybody else learn anything? Are we ready to go into this week?
Well, we had 2 players. One in the NFL, one
Who's
in college.
We? Just in general?
Yeah, the people.
Yeah.
We the football fan.
we
the football fan. We had 2 players go down with season-ending injuries. One in the NFL, one in college, with the same kind of tackle.
Oh, they call it the hip drop or something?
Hip drop tackle.
I'd never heard that phrase before.
And so there's a little bit of scuttlebutt. Like, should this tackle be like illegal?
But what is, like, it's just basically you grab a hold of the guy and fall down.
You grab a hold of, and then you use your weight. You drop your hip down to the ground and use your body weight to then bring him down. But it can cause their legs, ankles, to the other player to roll up under them.
Yeah.
I think we already make it hard enough on defensive players to make tackles and anything like that. Like, I don't really want to see it outlawed. I think it's unfortunate that it happened to 2. It was Mark Andrews on Thursday night in the NFL, and then the Jordan Travis injury is gruesome. And if you don't have to watch that, do not go back and watch it. It was I did not see it live, so I just heard he went down with a bad injury. So I watched the video. There was no alarm that this is just absolutely gruesome.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, his ankle is not supposed to be pointed that way. It looked a lot like when Dak Prescott had that compound fracture in 2020. The injury was.
I saw it on Twitter, and I it was tiny on my phone, and I saw it, and I was like, oh, okay, that's enough, and I didn't watch it again.
And it's unfortunate.
I agree with you though, like the hip drop thing. I don't even know. I'd never heard it until the Mark Andrews play, and they were like, oh, there's a hip drop tackle. And I was like, what's a hip drop? But, like, it's so hard to tackle dudes. Like, how are you going to – and then this
without
is –
being called for a penalty.
And we're going to have to, like, replay it 20 times whenever this happens now and, like, have the officials watch it. And it's going to slow games down even more. Because that tackle probably happens a lot in games.
Happens a lot. Yeah, no, it absolutely happens a lot. It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
But it stinks for Florida State.
Does his injury affect what you think will happen in this Florida game?
State?
Yeah, specifically
for me it does.
Okay.
Jordan Travis not being there. I mean, if Jordan Travis was there, I would 100% tell you Florida State's going to win the game.
Yeah.
Now, I think they should.
I think they're going to win. I just don't know if they cover. Yeah.
Right. And who knows with a backup quarterback on the road in games, like, you don't know.
Who is the backup quarterback?
Tate Rodemaker. Exactly.
Did you make that name up on the spot?
No, it's a real name.
I don't know. I think that's got to be a blow to your team to lose arguably the best player in the conference.
Yeah.
That's tough.
If you were the committee, the CFP, forget the gambling part of it, the CFP part of it, even if Florida State wins the ACC, does not having Travis at quarterback.
So the argument
would that factor in to your decision?
The argument is with Ohio State, right? This happened a couple years ago when Cardale Jones stepped in, and they went on and won the national championship. So the argument is, well, if you give them a chance, maybe they'll just go on and win the title. I don't. Fish, what about you? Does this to you? Would you take points away from Florida State?
No, I wouldn't. I think because you have. They're so stupid. The committee. I mean, they just dumb. They just are. And the whole thing is, you should be rewarded for what you accomplish, and this is where they're at now. If they lose to Florida this week, it'll work itself out.
For sure,
they'll be out.
What if they
lose the ACC championship?
Yeah. What if they barely beat Florida? What if they beat Florida by like 1?
I think that they should still be number 4. I mean, just based on if you feel like their resume is better than Washington's, then they should be ahead of Washington. Period. It's about what you've done.
Yeah.
And if you beat Florida this week and you barely beat them, it's a rivalry game. You're playing on the road. I mean, I don't think they should be penalized for it. The play itself could penalize them on its own.
Yeah, I'm with you here, Fish. Like, if they do beat Florida and then they win the ACC championship, that's what, 13-0?
Yeah.
You're not keeping that out of the playoff. Not in a Power 5 conference. Like, you can't set that kind of precedent.
There's a chance that 13 and like an undefeated team might not make it this year, right? Yeah, because like if one of the Oregon or one of those teams,
Washington go undefeated Big Ten East champ, undefeated
Georgia.
SEC, undefeated ACC. And then it is, okay, well, what are you going to do? Let's say Texas
there's not a chance any of those teams, if they're undefeated, are going to miss out.
Michigan
and Ohio
think Texas
State
gets in? You don't think Texas
they're a one-loss team. They're not undefeated.
Texas with one loss. You don't think Texas with one loss could make a case for, hey, we have one loss, and look at who we beat. Not only are we conference champions, but we also beat Alabama. Wasn't that a road game? Couldn't they say that against some of these?
But I will say the way it is so tight this year is that Michigan, Ohio State, whichever one loses this game is out. Like, they're going to be out. It's 4 teams. Whoever loses is out. Because neither one of them have other good wins. They don't have the wins to validate it.
So, and that's my point.
And if Oregon beats Washington, Washington beats Oregon in the Pac-12 title game and Washington takes care of Washington State, Washington will get in. If Oregon beats them, Oregon probably, then you get down to, okay, now you got 1-loss teams.
What if Alabama beats Georgia?
So that's
in the SEC championship.
The tricky spot here is what happens if Alabama does beat Georgia. Alabama will get in. Alabama's got to beat Auburn, though. They have to beat Auburn. They beat Auburn. They beat Georgia. They're not going to leave out the SEC champion. The question after that is,
does Georgia get
in? That's where it gets tricky, is if Georgia gets in.
I think you could argue
that Missouri win
undefeated
is helping a lot.
I think you could argue undefeated Michigan, 1-loss Texas, both conference champions. You could make the case, hey, Michigan didn't do enough out of conference. Texas got 1. And it was Alabama. So maybe you could make the argument there. I won't make it for you, but you can make it.
They're not going to leave out the Big Ten.
The Georgia thing becomes interesting. And, Rob, I want to know your thoughts because if they are 1 loss and their 1 loss is to Alabama in the SEC championship game and they're back-to-back national champions, can you have a playoff without them in it if they're close?
Yes. Because you only have 4 teams in the playoffs. So, and again, if it goes on resume and what you've done, Georgia's schedule just wasn't good enough.
But the resume is 3 years long if you're Georgia, right?
No, the resume is about this season.
Yeah, but they won't factor that into it. They will. Georgia with prestige will factor in, even though they say it will.
But their Georgia with a loss isn't going to get in ahead of any undefeated team.
No, I don't think so either.
Not ahead of an undefeated team. But Alabama already has a loss.
This is the other tricky thing, too. What happens if Auburn beats Alabama and then Alabama beats Georgia? Does no team from the SEC get in?
Correct.
That's where it's like, wow, that'd be crazy if no one from the SEC got in. Under that scenario, if you had a 2-loss Alabama team, then beat a then undefeated Georgia team, and Georgia now has a loss, like that would be, I think it'd be tough to get a team from the SEC in, but it would also be. Usually an SEC team, they're always in, and they get 2 sometimes. But I think with this right now, like whoever wins the Big Ten, Ohio State or Michigan, they're going to be in.
Yeah,
they're in.
Yeah,
and then I think whoever wins
Pac-12,
I think whoever wins the Pac-12, if it's Oregon or Washington, they're in.
Yeah.
So now you're talking about 2 more spots, and I do think an undefeated Florida State will get in over a 1-loss Texas team.
Maybe
they should.
Unless what if they squeak out win against Florida and Louisville?
Yeah. And I know the resume does matter. Who watches Texas and like is impressed by them? Like, what does Texas do that you're like, that is an awesome football team? Like, I would bet anything if they played Alabama again next weekend, Alabama would beat them.
Yeah, well, Alabama's awesome now. Milroe figured it out. They've been great.
They have been
won,
much better.
What, 10 in a row?
Much better.
The last game Alabama lost was September 7th.
Yeah, to Texas.
Yeah.
And Alabama had a chance. I mean, they kicked themselves in a million penalties.
Yeah.
Like, they just have to avoid the freaking 10 penalty game.
And the turnovers. We've been talking about the SEC. There's a big SEC game, a couple of big SEC games this weekend, but it starts Thanksgiving Day with the game we all give thanks for, the Egg Bowl. Ole Miss, Mississippi State. Mississippi State is awful. Ole Miss is pretty good. And Fish, do we have any numbers on the Egg Bowl?
I think we lost him.
I think we lost.
Oh no! There he is.
He's back.
There I am. Yeah. Ole Miss. The under is a big play here. Ole Miss, 20 of their last 30 have gone under. 7 of their last 9 on the road have gone under. State, 22 of their last 35 against SEC opponents also have gone under. Here's a bad number for State. At last 11 times as a home underdog, Mississippi State is 1-10 against the spread as a home underdog. They're 2-8 against the number this year. The road team has covered 7 of the last 8 meetings between these two teams. This is the week that weird things happen. I don't think weird things happen here. I like Ole Miss minus a 10.5. What about y'all?
I'd pass on this. I mean, I think if I had to pick it, I'd take Ole Miss and take the points because I think they'll probably win by a lot. But Roser and I were talking about this earlier in the hallway where we do a lot of our talking. It's a rivalry game.
Yeah.
And weird things happen in rivalry games, and maybe no rivalry game has had more weird things happen than the Egg Bowl, right? Would you pick it or park it, Roser?
I honestly, I do not care about this game at all. Like, I don't care about picking it or parking it. I just
so
don't.
You'll pass. You'll park.
I just don't. It's not even parking.
You're parking.
I'm not parking. I'm just driving by.
Drive by
at a high speed. At a high speed. I'm not parking anywhere near this game. I'm not picking this game. I'm driving by it. It's just a random billboard on the interstate.
How about you, CJ?
I'll pick it and I'll take Ole Miss in this game. Mississippi State, that offense is just abysmal. It is not good. And if your offense can't stay on the field, even if Ole Miss's offense is struggling a little bit, if your offense can't stay on the field and your offense can't move the ball and your offense can't score to keep pressure on Ole Miss, then they'll get that figured out. Lane Kiffin will get that figured out, and they'll get things rolling on that end of the court. Not on that end of the field, excuse me. Hopefully, but I would expect them to get it figured out if they start slow. I don't think they start slow at all. I think they come out there and send a message early to the Bulldogs, and Mississippi State don't convert on third downs at all. They're the worst third down converting percentage team in the SEC. I think they're 121st.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. I got it in my book.
Workplace slay.
There it is.
All day.
All day.
Every day.
Right there, even on Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving Day.
They're 121st in third down conversion percentage in college football. It's only 130-something teams.
Yeah.
They are bad. That offense, it not their fault. It sucks that your head coach, the one who came through and brought you here to play this specific system.
Said he died.
Unfortunately, he passed away. But this is kind of the result of that, where you got a bunch of people either not running that system or trying to run that system very, very poorly. Rebels big.
They did score 41 last week. Mississippi State did against Southern Miss. So take that for what it's worth.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Fish, you picking it? I don't remember.
Yeah, I'm picking it.
Right.
9 of the last 10 between these teams have gone under too. So I like the under, but I like Ole Miss in this. But it Roser's right on a lot of the games this week. It's rivalry week, man, and it's weird things happen this week. This is one things haven't really shaken up around college football world this year. And if there's ever a week where it happens, it's this week. So
do we think it happens?
That would concern me a little bit.
Do we think it happens in another game this week at the Iron Bowl, Alabama and Auburn? It's at Auburn, and Alabama is favored by 15. The over/under is 48.5. Alabama, like we said, has been on a roll, and Auburn lost to New Mexico State last week, 31-10. A game where they paid New Mexico State $1.5 million to come play and to beat them by 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
What do you think, Fish? How are you feeling on this one?
Well, again, weird things happen this week. I like Alabama minus the 14.5. Numbers would tell you that Auburn might be the play here. The home team has covered 8 of the last 11. Auburn is 7-2 against the spread against Alabama on the home turf. Auburn's 20-11 against the spread at home. Their last 31, 12-6 against the spread, taking on SEC West. And Alabama just 5-8 against the spread their last 13 on the road. So trends are pointing towards Auburn. I don't see it. I mean, after what we saw from Auburn last week, my goodness, how do you expect them to keep it close against Alabama? But it's rivalry week and weird things happen.
A, it's rivalry week. B, we were talking about this also before we started. Wouldn't the most Hugh Freeze thing of all time be for Auburn to either win this thing or just make it a game?
And he has had Ole Miss teams that played Nick Saban teams very well, beat them a couple times. Been one of the only SEC teams to go into Tuscaloosa and win. It's one of his Ole Miss teams, the Joe Burrow LSU team. Those are like the only two that come to my mind that actually went into Tuscaloosa and won games in the recent, last 5 to 10 years. I think I've got to play on this game. This game's weird. The Iron Bowl, man, it is. And freaking Vinny Verno says it, and it's true. Weird crap happens in that stadium, man.
Somebody's quoting
How
Vinny
much
Verno.
weird crap have we seen happen at Jordan-Hare?
A lot.
I mean, dude, they hung with Georgia.
Yep.
Like, this is, man. Like, it's just crazy stuff happens at that stadium. And this is one of those games where crazy stuff happens in this game. So you have an idea of where I'm leaning.
What are you doing, CJ?
I'm rolling with Alabama. I think you have to be good for weird things to happen. Right, it's rivalry week. Yeah, sure. It's Michigan State's playing Penn State also, and there are a couple of these Vanderbilt, Tennessee, another one of these rivalry games. You have to be good enough to make something weird happen. One of the greatest college football moments of my lifetime was the kick six. Yeah. Right, but Auburn was good enough. They're not good enough right now, and I do wonder how they block Alabama. That defense for Alabama is phenomenal. I do wonder how they block the likes of Dallas Turner and the rest of that Crimson Tide defense. I think Alabama goes out there and just manhandles Auburn.
Also, you said the kick six is one of the great moments of your lifetime. If you're at the game this week, Fish, I noticed on Twitter, they posted Auburn is going to do a special giveaway, limited edition kick six commemorative Yeti tumbler.
Oh.
Yeti's a big, lifestyle choice people make here in the South. People get really into those Yeti cups and tumblers. There's a limited edition Yeti tumbler. It says kick has 0.01 seconds, like a clock on one side. The other side has the play-by-play call of the Chris Davis touchdown. And you can buy them for $60 at several concession stands at Jordan-Hare Stadium this week. So if you're interested.
$60?
$60, yeah. Yeti's it's expensive.
I mean, it's kind of worth it to memorialize that moment. Has there been a better Auburn moment?
Is it full? I don't know. I mean, what's it called? Water? It's a college football. I guess they sell beer now.
They do sell beer.
Stadiums. Yeah.
Do you get refills?
For $60, I better get a refill. It better come full, and you get free refills.
But honestly, has there been? I guess something happened national championship season with Cam Newton. But outside of that, is there a better Auburn moment?
No, well, for Auburn, it's so great because it's against Alabama, right? Like, that's what made it great. They had the play against Georgia where they had the tip touchdown pass, like to win the game. But yeah, that was in the Iron Bowl. So I think if you're Auburn, that's got to be your all-time play. Oregon State, another rivalry game this week. Pac-12 Oregon's favored by 13.5, and the over/under is 62.5. I don't. 3 weeks ago, I was more excited about this game than I am now. I don't know. Roser, how do you feel do you have a pick on this one, Oregon State?
No. Stay away.
Why?
Completely stay away from this one.
Roser hates rivalry week.
It's just, I don't know.
Hates it.
I don't know what to
He hates
I
rivalries.
love it. I just don't like betting on them because it's just, I don't know. I would lean Oregon because I think Oregon State, I could easily see where last week was like their season.
That's what I was saying. Like, I felt a lot more excited about this game a month ago than I am now after they lost to Washington last week. Like, I don't know.
If they would have beaten Washington last week, I'd be way more excited for this. But I'd lean Oregon.
Do the numbers tell us to do anything, Fish?
Well, 9 of the last 11 at Oregon between these two teams have gone over. So over feels like a good play, 62.5.
Root for the points.
Yeah, just root for the points. But both teams have been great against the spread. Oregon State 13-5, their last 18. Oregon 8-2, their last 10. So both teams great against the spread here recently, but just the over, the play, and with these two teams playing, I'd root for the over.
Yeah, and both teams have good defenses though, so it's like that also freaks me out about taking the over. Even though I know the recent history would tell you take the over, but it feels like both of these teams have solid defenses. So yeah. I'm parking it because I will watch. It's not the Egg Bowl where I'm just driving by it. But yeah.
I'm parking too. CJ, you got anything?
I think I'd take Oregon in this one. While you're right, Roser. Oregon State is a good defense. Oregon has played a handful of the Pac-12's best defenses in UCLA and Utah. And against Utah, check the notes. Against Utah, damn near 400 yards of total offense. And that's at Utah. 35 points at Utah. They let up some. They could have kept the foot on the gas and really put up some number 49, 56, those types of things. I think the duo of the trio, you throw Bo Nix in there, but the Franklin and Bucky Irving, those special players, those skill position players, Franklin on the outside and Bucky Irving in the backfield, that's the difference maker in this game, and that's why Oregon is as special as they are offensively, because what can you do? Both of those players could win, should certainly be finalists for the Doak Walker and whatever the best receiver award of the year is in college football. Biletnikoff award in college football.
How can we talk about rivalry week and not talk about this one? The biggest one of them all, Ohio State, Michigan.
Yeah.
Michigan's favored by 3.5, and the over-under is 46.5. I think we should start with CJ on this one.
Let's do it. Let me tell you something about these Wolverines here. All right. They have taken their foot off the gas both weeks. They just said, okay.
Last 2 weeks?
We're content to the last 2 weeks. We're content to just run the football against Penn State. And against Maryland, we just want to get out of here with a win. That's all. They have shown nothing of interest from a specifically an offensive play calling standpoint. It's been real vanilla. All that ends with Ohio State. Everything comes out. You might wonder if not Shea. I got
Sharon Moore?
Not Sharon. J.J. McCarthy. I'm getting my Michigan quarterbacks mixed up. McNamara, excuse me. You might be wondering if J.J. McNamara is out of rhythm, out of sorts some. I would expect Michigan to do plays, especially early, crossing patterns, bubble screens, things like that, to get him in a rhythm so that he's ready to go later on in the game. And we saw what they did last year offensively, where they just leaned on Ohio State and leaned on Ohio State and leaned on Ohio State until eventually that dam broke. And those dudes are still there. They still got one of the best offensive lines in college football, 7 dudes who are projected to play in the NFL on that offensive line. You still have Blake Corum, who leads the nation in rushing touchdowns. You have a big play threat in Edwards. Plus, hopefully Wilson is back on the outside. That might have been a part of the issue against Maryland as well. Their big play receiver wasn't on the field. But if Wilson is back on the outside, and I would expect him to be, Sharon Moore said and Jim Harbaugh said that everything is good to go with him, then I don't know how Ohio State's defense keeps up. And what Michigan does a really good job of defensively is controlling the line of scrimmage. And they can get pressure with 4 dudes because they are so good at stunting. They got Maryland 3 or 4 different times. The last safety that Maryland got, that was a stunt. It looked like a blitz, but it was just a stunt. They are so big, they are so fast, they are so physical along the defensive line. I think they'll be more than capable of getting pressure on Ohio State without bringing extra players, and Ohio State end up turning the ball over, even though they got Maserati Marv. I can't wait to hear my man say Maserati Marv over and over. I love it when he says that.
Gus
Johnson, and I love Gus Johnson calling Michigan the Cardi Boys. It's going to be a great game. I'm looking forward to it.
There's your preview.
Yeah.
You picking it, Fish, or no? I got to pick on this one.
I've got to pick, too.
Yeah.
So does CJ.
I'm picking it.
All right.
I'm picking it. I'm picking Michigan. I don't believe in Ohio State, despite the fact that Ohio State is 17-4 their last 21 games against Michigan.
What are they their last 2? Stop it, Rob. Stop that. What are they their last 2?
Last 9 meetings between these two teams, last 9 meetings have gone over. So there you go. Take a look at that over 46.5.
46.5 is kind of low, I felt like.
Well, because it's 2 Big Ten teams.
I get it.
Yeah, two Big Ten schools. That's why.
And it's because Ohio State's offense sucks. And Michigan can play insanely conservative. It's going to run
28 times in a row.
There's a reason for this.
Yeah, I like Michigan in the over.
All right.
That's the way I'm going. What they do in the red zone when they get there is going to matter. Michigan, I think, has only given up 6 touchdowns in the red zone this year. So if Ohio State is moving the ball between the 20s, once they get into the 20s, you got to come away with touchdowns. Otherwise, there's no pressure on that offense to throw the ball. And they'll just sit back and keep running the football. I don't know how often they get to the red zone. I'm not saying that it's going to be a high scoring or a high yardage affair for the Buckeyes, but that is something to keep an eye on as well.
All right, we've been talking for 35 minutes here, and we need to take a break because we still got the Shield to get to. We got Nuggets. We got picks. We got free picks. We got a whole bunch of stuff coming at you here on The Odds Couple on Grind City Media.
I can't wait. I mean, we're going to have a new roster.
The Memphis Grizzlies welcome their newest Grizzly, Marcus Smart.
Coming to Memphis, that blue collar, is going to be great. So to be able to go out there and try to bring a championship to that city, it's an honor.
We're all hungry.
Let's go, big dog. Keep fighting, keep fighting.
We're super excited to be in front of the best fans in the league and hopefully deliver a memorable season.
Bull riding, the perfect fusion of strength, skill, and pure willpower. Professional bull riders aren't just athletes. They're daredevils with cowboy souls. Come experience the true modern West, where 8 seconds of glory will create a lifetime of memories. It's the Pendleton Whiskey Velocity Tours PBR Memphis at FedEx Forum, Saturday, February 17th. Tickets available at PBR.com and Ticketmaster. Hold on tight. The ride of your life is about to begin.
10 feet ahead of you, catch me is something you'll never do. I turn around and I level you, no motivation is needed. Look, I put myself on the pedestal, this is incredible.
Take your fandom to the next level with the official Grizzlies app. Go all access and behind the scenes.
It's got to be heavy defense. That's where it starts for us.
Personalized to where you are and who you are. Get easy access to ticketing, the game day guide, and your own app customization right at your fingertips. Upgrade your experience and download the Grizzlies app today.
Real country music with Cody Johnson live Saturday, April 13th at FedEx Forum. Country's best. The Leather Tour with Cody Johnson. With special guest Justin Moore. Also featuring Drake Milligan. VIP and reserve seats on sale at Ticketmaster.com in the FedEx Forum box office. Cody Johnson.
Welcome back to The Odds Couple on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Here's Rob Fisher and Lang Whitaker.
Get back to the grind at the next Grizzlies home game, Friday, November 24th at 4 p.m. when your Grizzlies host the Phoenix Suns in the final group play game of the in-season tournament. To purchase your tickets or for more information, open the official Grizzlies mobile app or visit grizzlies.com. Welcome back to the Odds Couple here on Grind City Media. I'm Lang Whitaker. He's CJ Hurt. Rob Fisher's in Houston, and the daredevil with a cowboy soul, John Roser, is here also.
Daredevil with a cowboy soul. Indeed.
We heard that during the bull riding
That's how they
commercial.
describe it. They're not just athletes. They're daredevils with a cowboy soul.
I stumbled across a rodeo video where they just stick a bunch of women in the ring, right? And they get this baby bull, and they tie.
Oh, I've seen this.
And they tie $100 to the bull's
Oh,
back.
I didn't know they had $100.
Yes,
on it.
and so all these women are trying to get the money, and the bull is just running around stampeding about.
I was going to say, is there a way to make this more sexist? But don't answer that question. We're going to do our top 3 teams in the SEC. We do this every week. And I was just thinking, like, do we need to do it anymore? Like, we're all going to say Georgia 1, right? Alabama 2, and Missouri 3.
Yeah.
Consensus.
Yep. We're done.
Okay, we're done.
I might say Ole Miss still.
No, we're not arguing.
I might still say Ole Miss. I would still say Ole Miss. I would still put Ole Miss in there.
No.
I would put Ole Miss there too.
I did the SEC power rankings on Grind City Media this week. I got those 3, top 3, and then I have LSU and Ole Miss tied for the 4th spot. What do you mean how?
They played a 1-point game. It's not that big.
Okay, fine. Great.
It's also
Who
like,
won the 1-point game? The
but I
first
also-
tiebreaker, if they're tied,
I
the
also
first
think
tiebreaker has to be hit the head, doesn't it?
There's also ways to litigate this by, this team beat this team, et cetera, et cetera. I feel like the power rankings, which just reminds me also, where are the fish scales? But anyway, the power rankings,
Rider strike.
the power rankings should be based on the most powerful team at the time, not necessarily who won a game against another team 3, 4, 6, 8 weeks ago.
Yeah, right.
Right? I got a bunch of Tennessee fans mad at me on there because I picked Texas A&M ahead of Tennessee on my thing, and they're like, "Well, we beat Texas A&M," and I'm like, "Yeah, but you lost the last 2 games 76-14 combined or whatever it is. Like Tennessee's not good right now," and they're like, "Texas A&M fired their coach." And I'm like, "All right, but you have the same record." Like
But Lane, my confusion is, did they play?
Yes, I just explained this.
Okay, well, that's what matters is what you do on the field.
Can we not argue about the SEC teams? Does it really matter who the 3rd best SEC team is?
Yes.
No, it really
yes,
doesn't.
It does.
It does not matter.
Because the third
got
best,
Georgia, you got Alabama.
But Roser,
that's
the 3rd best SEC team absolutely gets a New Year's 6 berth. The
But
4th best, we don't know. We don't know if the 4th best get the New Year's 6.
We
have no say in the CFP rankings either. We talked about that.
But we do have say.
We don't have say in the CFP.
I know for a fact Condoleezza Rice listens to the Odds Couple. Is she still on the committee?
Yeah.
Who's the military guy now?
Oh, they have a new guy.
They got a new military. There's
They
always
said he's known for
gotta be a military guy.
I bet he has a cowboy soul. They said he's known for his leadership.
Yeah. You have to have a military guy on the college football playoff.
He's the head of it.
Yeah. Of course. He's got to keep all these conference presidents in line.
We always go through the SEC schedule since we're talking about the SEC. We got Ole Miss, Miss State, Missouri, Arkansas. Is that interesting
Don't
to anyone?
care.
All right, we don't care. Kentucky at Louisville.
Do not care.
I mean, I care.
Could something weird happen in that one?
Yeah, something weird. Well, no, Louisville should go
It's
out
at
there.
Louisville.
Go out there and smack them. But Louisville is one of those
Kentucky's
teams that's
terrible.
also competing for a New Year's 6 spot.
Kentucky's lost 4 of their last 5.
Yeah,
They lost to South Carolina last week.
Kentucky'd.
A game that, by the way, if you watch the Odds Couple, I predicted that last week.
And then you got to think about it also from just a bigger picture standpoint in that game. Louisville and Florida State have to play. So when we talked about Florida State and the quarterback injury, I don't want to rehash that. But if Louisville loses to Kentucky, that Louisville win for Florida State does not look as good. They need Louisville to be a top 10 team when they play so that from a committee standpoint, it is, Florida State has one of these wins over one of those type teams.
Texas A&M, LSU. Yeah.
Whatever.
The Jimbo Fisher Bowl. Alabama, Auburn, Vandy, Tennessee, Florida State, Florida, Georgia Tech, Clemson, South Carolina.
No.
No to Clemson, South Carolina?
Yeah, I do not care.
We don't know. This might be the end of that dynasty. That is crumbling around us right now. Dabo's bickering with fans.
I don't want to watch the dynasty end, though.
Why not?
I mean,
That's
did just
the
beat
best.
North Carolina. They've been okay.
I want to watch the
then.
dynasty when it's at its peak.
They beat North Carolina and they fall apart to South Carolina again, back-to-back seasons. When's the last?
But
When
who
the hell
did
is
they
the
beat
last
before?
time?
They beat Notre Dame. They beat since the Dabo phone call on the coaches show. They beat Notre Dame.
Let's see. Clemson
They beat North Carolina.
When's the last
they
time? While
lost
you're
to
looking for
Florida
that.
State.
Okay.
They beat Syracuse, Wake, lost to Miami, NC State. Then they beat Notre Dame, beat Georgia Tech, beat North Carolina.
Yeah,
they won 3 straight.
The Dabo thing, the phone call happened
Before the Notre
Dame game,
Yeah.
and they've been solid since.
All right.
When's the last time South Carolina beat Clemson in back-to-back years?
That's true.
Like, it's been a while.
Probably Spurrier.
Yeah, it's got to be Spurrier.
Holtz, Lou Holtz era.
Like Aaron Lewis. And Stained.
NFL Week 12 starts tomorrow. The Shield. Roser's fired up for Thanksgiving 49ers action, 49ers Seahawks.
No, I hate Thursday games.
Even if it's against the Seahawks?
Yeah, I just don't like playing Thursday games. Short week. I hate that. I hate the short week stuff. I'd feel better if it was like on a Friday or even just make it a Saturday. You know, you're going to play on a short week. Like, it's not that bad.
You get Green Bay, Detroit early tomorrow. Then you get the Commanders and the Cowboys, like your midday game. And then you get the Niners. See, those are good games.
We've got all touchdown favorites, so I would bet there's going to be a lot of money line parlays on the 3 favorites to try to get that, you know, to try to, get that number down, maybe get you into plus money. I don't know if that pays out plus money.
What are the Fish? Do the numbers tell us anything about these games tomorrow? Anything interesting? Fish is muted.
Oh, there you are.
You're back.
Okay. Detroit 11-1 against the spread against NFC North opponents and against the Green Bay Packers. Detroit has covered 11 of the last 13 against the Packers, and they're a 7.5-point favorite. Love Detroit in this spot against the Packers. Dallas, the 10.5 against Washington. Dallas has covered 10 of the last 12 at home. However, Washington 10-1 against the spread in the month of November. How about that? Dallas has covered 5 of the last 6 at home against Washington. I'm liking Dallas there, and I'm liking Seattle. They've won 10 of their last 12 at home against San Francisco. Although San Francisco 10-1 against the spread against the NFC West, but I think I might take the 6.5 and take Seattle.
Of those 3 games, Rob, which one do you like the most?
Detroit.
Why?
Dan Campbell.
Because Green Bay is not good.
Yeah, because Green Bay's not good. I mean, I like, even though Dallas's numbers real big, I like Dallas
I do too.
just because I think Dallas
They're playing
against
good.
Yeah, they're playing well, and they play well against teams that aren't
mid to bad.
Yes,
They kill them. They kill average to horrible.
They
teams.
run up the
They
score.
kill them.
Yes, you're exactly right. So that's kind of why I like Dallas, but that number's so big that. But I like Detroit a lot too. So those two are the 2 that stand out to me.
The turkey parlay, something like that.
I do have a play on 49ers Seahawks. It is one of my picks. So I'll save that. The only thing I would watch out for is Washington. So for some reason with Washington this year, so the New York Giants have scored 4 touchdowns in the first half of games this season. All 4 of them have come against the Commanders. They have beaten the Commanders twice. They beat the Commanders twice this year. It's the weirdest thing. But then you're like, man, the Commanders are terrible. But then you go watch the Commanders play other teams. You see them play Philadelphia, and they've almost knocked off the Eagles twice this year. They knocked them off once last year, and they had a chance to beat them both times this season. Like, it's right there, nip and tuck game coming down to the final 4 to 5 minutes of the game. So there was a couple years ago where Dallas was better than Washington. And Washington went in there on a Thanksgiving. It was Antonio Gibson's rookie year, and the then football team, or I don't know if they were still the Redskins at that time. I don't know. They beat the crap out of Dallas. I don't think they'll beat the crap out of Dallas. Yeah. Sam Howell's been sacked more than any other quarterback in the league this year. He's also has the most passing yards in the league this year, but he's also been sacked more than any other quarterback, and it's by a lot. So that Dallas pass rush will probably get after him. I would also say Dallas, but I don't know. It's division game. So
there's CJ's got something from. I see the workplace Slade notebook coming up.
That point differential in Seahawks 49ers is that game is fascinating to me because they're both right there for the top spot in the NFC West, and the 49ers are beating the hell out of teams by like 122 points, and the Seahawks are -2.
Yeah.
-2 in point differential.
Yeah.
Here's the one thing I noticed about this weekend. It's rivalry week, and my Falcons are hosting the Saints, which is the big rivalry. The Aints. Yes, the Aints. And Desmond Ritter moving back to starting quarterback, whatever.
No, let's go.
But
what happened to Heineke? Did he get hurt?
No, he's
bad too.
He's Taylor Heineke.
He's
we have a bunch
too.
of not good quarterbacks.
Man,
but
you guys need to go get Kirk Cousins so bad.
I'll take anybody. Sunday's the 50th anniversary of hip hop celebration at the Falcons game.
I saw this.
So they announced who's going to be involved in this thing. I don't know if it's the halftime show or what.
There's actually no fans that are going to be there. It's going to be like
the stands are
80,000
all.
rappers.
Listen to this. Here's the group: Black with 6 Lag, Alley Boy, Arrested Development, Baby D, Baby Tate, Big Bank, Big Boy, my guy, Big Country, Big Oop, Big Tigger.
What Big Tigger?
Big Tigger.
From the basement?
From the well, he's the Hawks in arena host.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Rap City, BET Rap City.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Block.
Are all those bigs related?
No. Block, Bone Crusher.
Oh. I ain't never scared.
Yep. Bow Wow.
Yo.
Boys in the Hood. Bubba Sparks.
Are we only on B?
Yeah, hold on. Just wait,
Oh
Fish.
my Lord.
Cut it, Park, Bubba Sparks. Rocking everywhere.
CeeLo Green.
Hey.
Yeah.
Crime Mob.
Yo.
Look if you
DeBrat.
DeBrat.
Dallas Austin.
I didn't know DeBrat was still alive.
Yeah, she just had a baby.
Good for her.
Dim Franchise Boys.
Oh, white in my white tee.
DJ Ace, DJ Drama, DJ Infamous, DJ Jelly, DJ Swift, DJ Toomp, DJ Unk, DL Warfield, Earth Gang, Eastside Boys, Fabo, Fly, Goody Mob, Gorilla Zoe, Greg Street, Hitman Sammy Sam, J Money.
Oh, wait. Eastside Boys and no Lil Jon?
I guess not.
That's crazy.
He might be separately listed.
Okay.
J Money, Jazzy Faye, Jermaine Dupri, Jeezy.
This is a
Who that trying to get up in my crew?
How about this? Killer Mike?
Yo.
Kilo? Do you remember Kilo? Yeah. He was like the first Atlanta rapper. He's like way back when I was in high school. Lil Fate, Lil Scrappy, Ludacris.
Oh, Lil Scrappy.
Luda.
You don't want no problems?
You don't want Luda coming through. Maceo.
Okay.
DJ Shy D, Mojo, Money Man, Organized Noise.
Wait, we're only on the O's?
Organized Noise. So that's all the Atlanta. Pastor Troy.
Oh, I love Pastor Troy.
I'm riding big, ho.
I'm gonna skip through some of it. Quavo.
Quavo.
Rich Homie Quan.
Yo.
Where's he been?
I don't know.
That guy just man, he had like
Tag Team.
Back again.
T.I.
Yeah.
Trillville.
Yo.
Youngbloods. Zaytoven. I mean, there's like I skipped about half these names. There's so many people.
Zaytoven.
I don't know how in the world the Falcons the stands are just going to be all these people.
Is Metro Boomin want some more? Future cost too much, huh? They couldn't get Future. He cost too much.
He might be. Yeah, he's not there. He's not listed. I don't know. There's literally like 70 people listed on this thing that the Falcons are going to have at the game Sunday against the Saints. So
I'm going to watch that game just to see the crowd
I am
shots.
too,
That's going to be amazing.
I hope they show the halftime show on Red Zone. Like, don't show
There's
the Falcons
a halftime
game.
show?
I'm assuming this is the halftime show. Some of these guys got to be the halftime show.
That's better than most of the Super Bowl halftime shows that I've seen.
Yeah, and it's going to last 4.5 hours.
Great. The Falcons game should be the halftime show. To let Desmond Ritter go out there and try to throw a ball through a target at halftime. If he makes it, Falcons win. If he misses, they lose. They'll lose.
Honestly, could they do this on tomorrow? I'd rather watch that than like the Egg Bowl.
Anyway, that's NFL slate for this weekend. Any other NFL games you guys care about this weekend? Anything? Fish?
I don't even know the rest.
Well, just a reminder, learned this week, Black Friday football is here. Yeah. It's the first time that the NFL's throwing out we got Black Friday football. And it's like,
unfortunately, the Jets are involved.
Yeah, that is very unfortunate.
It's the Dolphins at the Jets.
But yeah, remember there's Shield action on Friday. So make sure you get your bets in for that.
All right, we're going to take one more break. We're going to come back. We got nuggets. We got picks. We got free picks. You're watching The Odds Couple here on Grind City Media.
going dancing. Welcome to Fandom 101. We need you going crazy in the stands. Your path to fan mastery begins here. It's all part of the curriculum. The NCAA Division I men's basketball first and second rounds this March in Memphis, Tennessee. Attendance is encouraged. Passion is mandatory. Buy your seats today at ncaa.com/MBB tickets. Class dismissed.
Today, it is all about the 6th man of the year. Brogdon is the favorite by far.
Yeah, I saw that.
By far.
How is he not starting on the Trailblazers, though? Like, I
Maybe
mean,
by the time this comes out, he will be.
he might be the 6th man on a good team by the time this comes out, too.
Oh. Not on a good team. IMHO with Lang Whitaker and me, Kelsey Wright Johnson, on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
The most anticipated rock holiday tradition returns. Trans-Siberian Orchestra, live in concert. December 14th, FedEx Forum. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. A legendary blend of rock, classical, and holiday music for the entire family. Don't miss Trans-Siberian Orchestra, live in concert. The Ghosts of Christmas Eve.
So many people have credited Kawhi Leonard, and they've called him the GOAT of load management. What they don't know is you paved the way for so many of these guys.
See, it wasn't called load management when I was playing.
You were a trailblazer when you
right. I might have started load management. You're right about that.
The Chris Vernon Show, presented by Caesars Sportsbook, live weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Welcome back to The Odds Couple on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Here's Rob Fisher and Lang Whitaker.
Download the official Grind City Media mobile app. Explore new ways to access your favorite GCM content, from your favorite shows and series to news and entertainment. Stay connected with the exclusive content at your fingertips with the new Grind City Media mobile app, available in both the Apple and Google Play stores. Welcome back to The Odds Couple. It's here on Grind City Media. And we're going to go through, as we always do at this time, some nugs.
Yeah, give me those nugs.
Rob Fisher has some nugs for us.
Yeah, I do. We are going to start this week with the Alabama Crimson Tide as they get ready for the Iron Bowl. They're a double-digit favorite against Auburn this week. They've won 65 of their last 67 as double-digit favorites against SEC opponents. They're 37-30 against the spread as a double-digit favorite against SEC opponents. No, but
15 scares me. But go ahead.
15, big number at Auburn this week. The Arkansas Razorbacks. How about this? Arkansas is 23-10 against the spread at home when the total is between 52.5 and 56.
Huh.
This week it's 54.5. Huh. So, yeah, Arkansas.
I don't know what to do with that information.
That trend leading towards Arkansas. Vanderbilt, meanwhile, the Vanderbilt Commodores, they got Tennessee this week. Vanderbilt's gone under the total in 18 of their last 22 road games against teams with a winning home record. Well, they got Tennessee this week.
Yeah.
And that total's 56.5.
So I was thinking about that one, and I did originally have a play on it, and I was going to take the over because my belief is I think Tennessee may hit that by themselves.
However,
I could see Tennessee winning this game like 70-0.
There's also talk that the freshman, Nico, I might be leaving, is going to play a bunch. So but I wonder if maybe he's not capable of running it up. It's a freshman.
He cannot be worse than Joe Milton. There's no way that's possible.
I don't know.
So this was always the plan, apparently, with him. So he's going to start. He's going to play. It'll be his 4th game. You can play 4 games and keep your red shirt, and you can also play the bowl game because the bowl game doesn't count towards the red shirt. So this was like
at the end of the Georgia game, it was a blowout, and Georgia pulled Carson back, and they were like, well, why doesn't Tennessee pull Joe Milton?
Yeah.
And they left Joe Milton in, and they were just getting destroyed.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, they can't. Iamaleava can't play because it'll be his 4th game.
Yeah.
So they're saving him for the Vanderbilt game.
Because they're going to let him play the entire Vandy game. Yeah.
We'll see. All right, Fish, you got one more nugget.
Got one more. Memphis Tigers.
Oh, we forgot to talk about them, but go ahead.
Yeah, Memphis Tigers 11-5 straight up. Last 16 times playing in an NFL stadium. They did lose their last 2, and they'll be playing at the Link this week in Philadelphia.
Oh, birds!
They're also 12-3 against teams with a bird mascot.
Ooh.
But all 3 losses against Temple. Ooh.
That's because owls are scary.
Yeah, owls are the scariest bird.
Memphis won't.
Their heads spin around.
Yeah.
Memphis isn't going to lose this week, but they're not going to cover. I mean, double-digit favorite on the road.
Temple sucks, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
but who would take Memphis as a double-digit? But Memphis a double-digit favorite on the road?
No thanks.
What's the total? Because you probably just take the over. Because
Take the over and root for points.
Yeah,
It
Memphis
is
overs have been
65.5.
Damn,
That's a lot.
Big number.
I don't know
God,
if Temple
that's
can
a
score
big
that
number.
many points.
That is because I just don't know if Temple can score. I could see Memphis scoring
Temple's 3-8, I believe, right?
42. Like Memphis could do that.
Yeah, 3 and
They
8.
could score 4. They could score. Memphis could score 37 to 45 points.
Temple played SMU a couple weeks ago and lost 55-0.
I know. That's my worry. It's like I don't. Now Memphis' defense sucks.
Yeah.
So
we'll see how much they suck. Yeah. All right, hey, let's do some picks.
Yeah, picks.
You want to start us off, Fish?
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll go with LSU to start things off, minus the 10.5 against A&M. LSU's 11-2 against the spread their last 13 at home. I'm going Georgia minus the 23 at Georgia Tech. Georgia's covered the last 12 at Georgia Tech. Make it 13. They'll cover the 23 this week. Tulane minus the 3 against UTSA. Tulane 5-0 against the spread on Friday.
Huh.
Yeah. Top 5-0 against the spread on Friday. The Arizona Cardinals. We're going back to the Shield. Arizona, they're a pick 'em against the Rams. Arizona's 5-1 against the spread at home. Looked pretty good last week with Kyler Murray. I like the Cardinals at home against the Rams. And then I'll take the Ravens minus the 4 against the Chargers in a line that doesn't make a lot of sense, which scares me a little bit. Baltimore 5-2 against the spread on the road, but just a 4-point favorite against the Chargers team that looks very mid. But I'll go ahead and take the Ravens minus the 4 because the Ravens have led for virtually every minute of this season. So I'll go with Baltimore.
The Ravens are like Memphis to me, like betting on them. Like I don't know what. Every week it's something weird happens and you don't know what to do. All right, my picks. I'm staying away from the NFL because I went 5-0 doing college last week and I'm gonna do it again.
Oh boy.
I'm taking this under.
I didn't have the courage.
CJ said he didn't have the courage. I have the
pulling
courage.
for you. I really wanted to take it. I didn't have 26.5.
It keeps getting lower every week.
Insane.
I mean, look, last week I had the Iowa-Illinois under of 30.5, and it hit. So let's keep going. Let's see how low can we go. And I'm going to do the other under. I told you a second ago my reasoning for this. The Tennessee Vanderbilt. I think Tennessee's going to win, but I mean, if they win 40-7, you still get the under.
Right.
So I don't know if they're going to score that many points with a freshman QB. Maybe they will, but I'm taking the under in that Tennessee Vandy game. Now we get to the big one, Ohio State and Michigan. I'm taking Ohio State. I think they're going to win by a touchdown. I just think they've been putting away people the last few weeks significantly. Michigan's been coasting a little bit coming into this thing, and I think Ohio State, Maserati Marv's going to put up some numbers in this game, and I'm taking Ohio State. Missouri at Arkansas. Sam Pittman got the vote of confidence this week. They're definitely going to lose, and Missouri's good. Missouri's the third best team in the SEC. Only 7.5 at Arkansas. I'm taking Missouri in this one, and Georgia Tech. Go Dogs. All I got to say. CJ.
I will get things started. First off, I love your pick, Rob. The LSU one, I wanted to take that. I should have took that. And if I had more courage, Lang, I would have absolutely hopped on that. Just 27 points. Surely these two can combine
The final
for
score is
28.
going to be like 7-3.
Man, that's
7-5.
Big Ten, baby. Gotta love it. Let's get things started. Where are my notes at? There we go. Got the wrong thing. Let's start with Penn State, Michigan State. Let's start with the fact that Michigan State is 121st in the nation in turnovers lost this season. Second worst in the Big Ten as well. Penn State is going to have their way. I love the Nittany Lions and the 20.5 there. I will take Michigan, obviously, minus 3.5. I know Kyle McCord has been playing a touch better, but it's easy to play better when you're clean. It's going to be a whole lot more difficult for Ohio State and that offense to roll with Marvin Harrison Jr. when they're getting pressured constantly, and Michigan will bring the pressure. And offensively, you can lean on Ohio State. We saw Michigan do it last year until the third, fourth quarter, and then those run plays, those holes become gashes right there. Can't wait. I have my Hypnotic and Hennessy. I will be hulking up for that game, fellas. Be expecting some phone calls. Louisville, give me Louisville over Kentucky minus the 6.5.
Hypnotic and Hennessy.
Yeah, that's how you hulk up.
Right.
That's a lethal combination right there.
It's the Incredible Hulk. That's how
At
you
least it's
hulk
not
up.
brown liquor, like because we've experienced when you
Well,
get into
Hennessy
that before.
is brown.
Oh, that is true.
It is brown, so get ready. Get ready, baby.
Hypnotic is.
Devin Leary leads the SEC in interceptions with 9. Louisville is averaging about 1 interception per game. I think they turn him over a whole bunch, and they coast in that game. Give me Washington State. Is that minus 16.5? I think it's plus 16.5.
It's plus. It's plus 16.
Yeah, just wanted to make sure it's plus the 16.5.
It's plus.
Washington wins. Washington State covers. Last Apple Bowl. They're gonna fight this one out.
It's the
I love
Apple
it.
Cup.
Apple Cup. Excuse me. Forgive me. Then Dolphins are going to throttle the Jets. They're great at getting pressure. Speaking of teams who can get pressure, 31 total sacks on the year, about 3 per game. The Jets playing a dude who couldn't win at Temple. Like UConn. He threw like 19 interceptions and 1 touchdown at UConn. He's not ready for this. The Dolphins are going to run all over these dudes.
Someone went through, I can't remember who it was. There's a podcast I was listening to, and they went through the Jets, like a lot of the guys that they like just signed, and it's basically like the connection is all Aaron Rodgers. And Tim Boyle was one of them. It's like, why is Tim Boyle signed to that team? Because he's cool. He was friends with Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay.
I saw a stat the other day that I don't remember the exact number, but the Jets have not scored a touchdown on something like 42 consecutive possessions.
Yeah.
Like you would think at some point somebody would just fall like
bad,
trip.
real
yeah,
bad.
And they're not going to score this week either.
It's incredible. Anyway, all right, Roser, take us home.
Okay, real quick. I didn't have this as a pick, but I do kind of like the Tennessee Titans this week. Minus the 3.5 at home against the Carolina Panthers. The Titans have been better at home. The Panthers are horrible, and the Titans have been. They've scored at home. They've scored 27 and 28 points in their home games. So they've been way better at home. So, and the plus with the Panthers being terrible, I would lean towards taking the Titans this week. I could see a double-digit win for them against Carolina. But I'm going to take Liberty minus the 17 against UTEP. Liberty's been a freaking covering machine this year. And it hasn't mattered, even the rumors that their coach may leave. They're just beating the crap out of
They made the
teams.
college football playoff rankings for the first time
taking
ever.
a 17-point road favorite is never something I like to do, but I'm going to do it here and lay the points with Liberty. I may regret this, but I'm taking Ohio State plus the 3.5. The reason I'm doing it is because I get the hook. I get the hook with the 3.5, but love hooks and ers. But it could be another one of these situations. CJ will call me the last 2 years and scream while he's drinking whatever he was drinking the previous years. I don't know if it was Hypnotic and Henny.
It was Wild Turkey year one.
Wild Turkey.
And everybody's talking about Connor Stallions, the things that happened when Jim Harbaugh got Connor Stallions. No, what happened was I started drinking excessively on game day, and my mojo rubbed off on the Wolverines. So it was Wild Turkey 2 years ago, and then last year I was on malt liquor. I had like 340s.
Malt liquor. My God, malt liquor. And CJ would say,
I just remember getting the photo from CJ of the empty Wild Turkey bottle.
Yeah. CJ yelling into the phone to me, Roser, they don't want to hit. They don't want to hit. He just yelled that. He would just yell it and yell it and yell it. And the truth was, Ohio State did not want to hit. Ohio State seems like they don't mind hitting this year.
I was on the golf course.
I'll
getting
take
pictures
it because
of liquor and screaming.
Yeah, I'm going to take it because I get the hook. 49ers Seahawks. So they played 3 times last year. The 49ers won all 3. Now the playoff game was 41 to 23. So that one clearly went over. The other 2 regular season games for the Seahawks and 49ers, both of them went well under this total right here, 44. They were both at 34 points. The 49ers won in Seattle 21 to 13. They won in San Francisco 27 to 7. So both of those totals hit 34. You're talking a short week. Prime time, Primetime unders have been a thing. They have been a thing. It was a thing again on Monday night in the Chiefs.
Eagles.
In the Chiefs-Eagles game, the under hit. So they've been a thing. I would take the under 44 and 49ers Seahawks. I'm going to take Auburn. I get the hook with the 2 touchdowns.
It's a lot of points, though.
It's a lot of points.
Hooks.
And
a lot of hooks.
And I'm going to take it. I'm going to take the 14 and a half. You're giving me the hook with the 2 touchdowns. I'm going to take it.
Johnny Captain Hook over here.
Weird game. I'm going to say Alabama wins this 24-17. Weird game. And then I'm going to take Arizona. I may be celebrating Arizona a little too bit because of what they did last week against Utah, but they've been seeming like getting better and better every week. So I'm going to say they're going to go into Sun Devil Stadium in Tempe, walk in that trap, and take over that trap.
Are we still doing that?
Wildcats, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ask Dylan.
Yeah. Wildcats
Fish,
carry.
ask Dylan.
Wildcats carry.
I will.
I'm just realizing now I've been talking about how I don't give a crap about the Egg Bowl this entire show, and it's just an Ole Miss helmet sitting right here in front of me.
Just telling you something.
Yeah.
All right. That's the Odds Couple here on Grind City Media. And we'll be back next week live next Thursday to talk about championship week, right? Next week will be championship week and some more Shield and picks and nuggets and all that stuff. Thanks for watching. Rob, thanks for joining us from Houston. Get us a win tonight.
Yeah, going against DB, man.
Yeah, wear your jorts. All right, that's Fish, that's CJ, that's Roser, the guy with the cowboy soul, and I'm Lane Whitaker, and you're watching The Odds Couple here on Grind City Media.
You've been listening to The Odds Couple on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Tune in next time with Rob Fisher and Lang Whitaker.